What's up, everybody? This is Prime Sports Media right at you right now. Let's get into this right now. The game against Arizona State was very puzzling as they struggled in that second half to maintain momentum in order to win this game. In the beginning, Coach Prime said this in the beginning of the game, they weren't able to really get their offense going to a premium level, but they weren't blown out yet in this game, meaning they could have won this game. They could have pulled it through. Juju only in his official second start, if I'm not mistaken, for this football team. I think he did pretty good, considering that he hasn't had a lot of playing time in game action this year. So for him to come in and do what he did so far, it shows you that there's growth, there's development. He's going to get better. Was he perfect? No, Juju was not perfect by any means. He's going to have to clean up a few areas that I think Deion Sanders struggled with, which is holding on to the ball way too long. But the offensive line didn't do him too many good favors because the offensive line was down Jordan Seaton. This was a big loss when you have a young quarterback in the game and he does not have his left tackle to protect his blind side. And we know that Jordan Seaton is a bona fide first-round pick for the NFL. I personally think I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves for the NFL after this year. He is injured. He could not play in this game. And I think that really hurt because what you witnessed is that the offensive line struggled to give this young man the protection that he needed consistently. And then he'll have to clean up, as I said before, he'll have to clean up holding on to the ball way too long. But that's the learning process when you are a freshman, a true freshman. They keep asking him about whether he's going to redshirt. I had made mention that I think it would have been good if he could be redshirted this year. But it looks like Juju wants no part of that he wants to go forward and prepare for next year. He's saying he's going to be, he's all in. So let me just say this, because this is a concern that I had as well. In his press conference, I'm going to play some of it, he made it very clear that he has made Boulder, Colorado his home. He says his boys are out there with him, meaning his friends are out there with him. He says that that's where he's going to be. He says he's committed to CU, and he was very confident about it. He was very honest about it, which makes me think that, yes, he's coming back. He recognizes that there are going to be guys that are going to jump through the portal and are going to possibly leave. But he has said that he's 10 toes down with CU. So Coach Prime has his quarterback of the future. And one of the things that we notice in this game is that when he's able to throw the ball and he doesn't have someone breathing down his back, meaning the offensive line gives him protection, we witness in this game that Juju was able to make some pretty good passes, pretty good plays from time to time. But when you're not able to generate enough running game, you become one-dimensional. When your defense is giving up big plays, it really hurts your team, okay? This is the thing that really hurt them, and this is just the truth. Let me put this up here real quick. The running back, I think Brown, he had 22 carries, 1 touchdown. The young man had 255 yards rushing. You can't win a football game when you give up 255 yards rushing. What does that tell you? They can't stop the run. That has been the Achilles heel for not only this season, but it's been an Achilles heel to CU's program for the last couple of seasons. This might be the worst this year, in which they have struggled to stop the run. Now, we got to be honest, and we got Hayden, who came in with 10 carries, 1 touchdown. for 65 yards overall rushing on the day. Let's keep it real. They are without a lot of players on this team that are out hurt. So we must keep that in perspective. I am disappointed in the way the season has gone so far, in the way that they have gone out and they have lost football games. Okay. This is another game that they let get away, that Juju, even though he's going through his learning pains, he's going through understanding how to read coverages, because in high school, they don't really read coverages or have to worry about coverages, defensive coverages, as much as what you see in college and the pros. And he had made mention of this in his press conference, that in high school it's different. College, we got to know how to read coverages more. So there's more on your plate as a quarterback, a young quarterback, when you are put out there, thrust out there to prepare for a game. Arizona State was a very beatable team. They lost to Arizona State 17-42. And this is a game that I'm not going to sit up here and say, oh, Juju's the reason why they lost. Last time I checked, Juju did not throw a interception in this game. He didn't have turnovers. Juju went 19 for 38 for 161 yards. He threw the ball a little bit better in the last game he played in. He had 1 touchdown, no interceptions. That is very good for a young quarterback, that we don't see him coughing up the ball. He didn't cough the ball up in this game, given the fact that they lost control of the ball game very early on. Let me put this chart up here. Once again, because Arizona State was able to control the tempo of this game through their running game that was explosive, their running back Brown went for 255 yards overall rushing. That contribute to Arizona State controlling the time of possession, 33 minutes and 8 seconds, to CU's 26 minutes and 52 seconds. For a total yards, 580 yards. CU got 300 total yards for the game. You can't win football games. You cannot win when you give up that much total yards to your opponent. And that is what really hurt them a lot in this game. But one thing we know is Juju said that he's coming back. So we don't have to worry about, oh, this young man's jumping in the portal. He wants to come back, and I want him to come back, because what he has going on with Amarion Miller is classic. Let's give that a clap. What he has happening with Amarion Miller is classic. I got to admit, since Juju has come on the scene, we have to be honest, Amarion Miller has actually had an increase in his stats. He has actually been more dominant. And Juju said himself that he realizes what's happening in this game against Arizona is that Arizona start playing a lot of zone coverages, because they could not cover Amarion Miller one-to-one. Amarion Miller is one of those unique receivers, young receivers that comes along in so many years, in which you need to double team him or play a lot of zone coverage, know where he is at all times on the field, because you just can't stop him in man-to-man coverage with going with just one defensive back covering him, especially if that defensive back is not a premier defensive back in this league or in college football. So what's happening is that Juju has gotten some type of chemistry with Amarion Miller. This bodes well for the future, as Amarion Miller has a few more years, I believe, of eligibility, unless he's been redshirted, because remember, last year he got hurt. So I wonder if they put a red shirt on Amarion Miller so that he has another year of eligibility, which would put him at 3 more years. Okay, if he keeps up playing like this, he's going to be NFL bound. But if you have a go-to quarterback like this, a go-to receiver, should I say, like Amarion Miller. That's what I was trying to say the first time. You have a go-to receiver. It makes it easy for a young quarterback like Julian Lewis to feel more comfortable, get the ball down the field, and attack these defenses that he goes up against. This will bode well for the season coming up next year. The offensive line, in my opinion, let's be honest, without Jordan Seaton, they are not the same offensive line. The team has been banged up, a lot of missing pieces. But what has happened this year, which is a positive, is that a lot of young players are getting their chances in the spotlight. That is very important. That can only boast well for next year, them getting some reps and some experience and gameplay. That can only help their confidence for those that are going to stick around and not jump into the transfer portal. Okay, the offensive line, I think, still needs to be further improved. We don't know if Jordan Seaton is going to stay or go for the NFL, or maybe stay another year under his belt to finish what he started, which was he wanted to get this program to another level, get him in the bowl games consistently. So he's got some more eligibility in which he could do that. And if you get him back into the fold, then you also maybe bring over maybe some guys that are even better on that offensive line. Maybe Juju won't have to deal with these situations like he did in this game where he's being sacked, he's under duress. But we have to be fair. The offensive line was playing without certain key guys, particularly Jordan Seaton. The overall team itself is struggling because they have a lot of injured players, as well as I'm not very confident, and I've said this, and I'm going to keep saying it. I'm not confident with Pat as the offensive coordinator, and you can make an argument that Robert Livingston doesn't have all of his starting guys in the secondary or the defense that he's the coordinator of. But I'm also a little weary on Robert Livingston as well. Coach Prime has a lot of decisions that he's going to have to make during this offseason to figure out how to rebuild this team. He's already talked about how they need to make some changes. They have to evaluate better in terms of roster management. They've got a lot of things they've got to do to get this team where it needs to be. So it's crazy. It was a very difficult game to watch again, when at some point in time I felt like, okay, they're going to win this game. I felt this way because in the first quarter, I believe in the first quarter, you had Michael Welsh, who broke off a 39-yard run in the first quarter with 1 minute and 41 seconds on the clock in quarter one. Then you had Dylan Hayden, who had a big run in the first quarter with 3 seconds left on the clock when he ran a touchdown in for 7 yards. I like that. That was good stuff. Then Juju showed you that he can put good touch on the ball. He can make some good things happen when given a chance. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, share the video on all your social media. I definitely would appreciate that. Juju showed that he had good touch on the ball when he threw the ball to Amarion Miller. With 22-yard catch. TD is a 22-yard throw by Julian Lewis. He threw the ball to Amarion Miller. Amarion Miller got 20. Let me correct this. Amarion Miller got 22 yards on that catch for a touchdown in this ball game. So when you saw those things happening, you see a lot of things are potentially great for the future, because if they can come back and connect like this going into next year and show some improvement in this next game. I think they play Kansas State at Kansas. The game this weekend against Arizona State is the last home game, unfortunately, in Boulder. So they're going to have to go into a hostile environment in Kansas State and see if they can rectify this loss. This would be a great for CU if they could beat Kansas State and end the year with a win going into next year, as he says he's ready to work on next year. What I want to do is let you hear a little bit of Coach Prime, his thoughts on everything that's taken place. And let's go, everybody. Check this out.
It's tough to think that we don't have more in the tank to come up with some things to take advantage of those situations, and that situational football. We got to be much better than that, and we didn't. We weren't, and we aren't.
Leo, go ahead. Coach Leo Barroscova Sports. You talked earlier in the week about trying to get the ball to your playmakers' hands.
Right.
You struggled to do that outside with your wide receivers. What did you make of the game plan? And
I'm not going to say we struggled to do that. Joseph Williams had 12 targets. Omario Miller had 9 targets. Sincere had 5. We threw the ball 38 times. We did exactly. We didn't do our jobs. You targeted the right guys, didn't you?
Right.
Aren't those the playmakers? We didn't do our jobs. Dallas had 69 yards. We rushed for 161 yards. You could win rushing for 161 yards in college.
Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Prime is being completely honest. They didn't do their jobs. But I think the offensive line also struggled to protect Juju. I think Juju was sacked maybe 4 or more times. Another glaring concern that I had watching this ball game, and I'm going to put this up real quick, is that there were some interesting things in this game, meaning CU was able to get Arizona to turn the ball over 4 times in this game. Usually when a football team turns the ball over 4 times, they lose. The problem is that CU was not able to capitalize, as we all witnessed this past Saturday. They were not able to capitalize on necessary opportunities when causing error. So it wasn't like Arizona just came into this game and blew CU out, dominated from start to finish, because there were times when CU had opportunities that unfortunately they could not cash in on.
Football, you can, but we didn't get it done.
Ryan Scholes from Ralphie Report. You guys got a lot of play time from Isaiah Harge tonight, and he had a good game. What was it like watching him do his thing out there tonight?
He had a tough game early on, didn't he? He bounced back and stayed steadfast, and he's a competitor. That was his first time in a while playing in the slot, but he's a competitor. And we were thin back there tremendously after Bayard went down. So
right. Bayer, this kid right here, Tafik, is a really good safety. And because of him going down due to injury, he went down. They had to take him out of the game. Coach Prime is going to talk about. And Preston Hodge had a pretty damn good game when he came in. Preston Hodge, who I'm going to put up here real quick. Preston Hodge had 8 tackles, 7 solo. He actually, being that he's a defensive back, he played pretty good in this game and stepped up because they had to play Preston Hodge at safety due to Tafik being out injured. So that shows you the versatility of a guy like Preston Hodge to be able to come in and do what he did at safety at late notice. Let's continue.
Guys did what they had to do. I mean, we had Preston Hodge played a safety. We had really planned on that though. But he got an opportunity to play safety. Yeah, but we just got to do better. We got to make plays, man.
Yes.
You know, if and buts about it.
Got to make plays.
Hey, Coach, a couple questions for you. Dallin and Michael were running the ball well tonight. You mentioned change of pace, but what was it you've been seeing out of Ronald Coleman that you thought this is the time to get him?
Very explosive. I mean, even the play he was in, he hit it.
Right. Ron Coleman was a young man who unfortunately fumbled the ball, was never touched by anybody. but he was very explosive coming out of the hole, has a lot of speed. Just going to have to learn to hold on to the ball, secure that football better. You know, could it be because you're not getting enough reps, enough playing time, enough game action time that guys are being thrown into positions that's not their regular position? There's a lot that you can look at and analyze on this situation.
He hit it. He was free. Nobody touched him. He hit it. He did what we thought he would do.
And the second question is, Julian, obviously he was under pressure a lot tonight. He looked from the box, maybe a little bit more flustered than the past 2 weeks. Did you see something different out of him today?
He wasn't settled. Never got settled. We got to do better.
I think that Julian Lewis did not feel settled in this game because the offensive line, I don't think, gave him the best protection. But let's keep this in mind. I'm going to say again, you did not have any Jordan Seaton on that offensive line. You've got a lot of guys out hurt that they're trying to patch up things. And I think that's why in some parts of this game, he was never able to get settled because he was always under some duress, some pressure coming forth towards him by Arizona. But he'll get better. He'll adjust. He'll learn. He's fresh out of high school. The high school game is not as fast as the college game. So once Julian Lewis gets comfortable with the speed of college football, once he gets settled in and eventually start to know his playbook better, feel more comfortable, and that will take another offseason for him to prepare for next year, I think you'll see a different guy in Julian Lewis than you saw in this game. And I think that you might see him play better against Kansas State because he'll have time to learn from this game and have another week to prepare and get those reps in practice.
John Treach, 9 News. Coach, you and Kenny Dillingham took over programs in the same conference at the same time. Is part of your evaluation seeing where they are versus where you are right now?
Well, you're not happy with where we are. Not at all. I'm not going to compare myself to any other person. I'll let you guys do that. You guys do it really well. So I'm going to let you guys do that. I'm happy for him. I consider him a friend. I consider him a heck of a coach. I consider him coach some heck of a players. They won. I mean, I think in the first half, I know in the first half, you saw a team that was out there fighting and competing that should have had the upper hand, but we didn't. So I'm not going to, just shower opposing teams with roses when we were right there in the game.
Right. Coach Prime is correct. They were in the game. Even though there were a lot of things going wrong with Julian Lewis sometimes not feeling comfortable, but there were times when he did some things that were good. The offensive line had its struggles. They could never really get their running game completely in sync, although you had Hayden, who broke off a nice run, got a touchdown, but they never really were completely in sync, and then the defense did not do the best job in giving up 255 yards to the opponent, to the running back for Arizona State. All these things played a role. And in the second half of this contest, that's where everything went wrong. If they could have just kept this game close, they could have pulled this out, even with some of the mistakes that they made in the first half. But then the mistakes just kept coming in the second half. And then I'm gonna say again, if you can't produce touchdowns, opportunities, when a team is literally giving you the game because of their poor play, I don't know what I can say. There were opportunities certainly that were lost here that they did not capitalize on, and that's a very unfortunate part of this situation. Let me go ahead and go to Julian Lewis and let you hear what he had to say. Here we go.
better all around and clean up, get ready for next year.
Were you seeing
What's going on,
anything in
Keith? What's going on,
particular that
Peggy
ASU's
Roster?
defense was
Appreciate y'all
doing that
being
was
here.
giving you guys problems?
Realistically, they're just dropping the big zones. I mean, we weren't really just, doing what was necessary to get open on things like that. And I wasn't doing what was necessary to complete the passes on those things. I mean, the O-line did their thing today and took some unnecessary sacks, some bad balls, and got to make.
So we have here more coaches will probably not be back next season. Yeah, I suspect that there'll be coaches that won't be back next season. Arizona State is ranked. CU is second last in the Big 12 with all the marquee that should come with Deion. So far, the CU air isn't going well. 4-8, 9-4. Well, we got next year to see how this thing plays itself out. And keep this in mind. I think there's some coaching issues on this team that need to be dealt with. I believe there may be some not personnel, but some roster issues that need to be dealt with. Coach Prime did talk about roster issues that need to be addressed. Let me see. I think he had said it right here. Let me go back to this real quick. Real quick.
To the foot. I don't think we're being beaten like that. I think we're doing a good job of beating ourselves.
Yeah, they're beating themselves,
Hey,
Coach.
While I believe that's true, rush defense has also been a problem pretty
Yes.
much all year.
Yes.
Is that just like an across the board personnel coaching thing?
See, personnel.
everything.
Pinpoint?
It's everything.
That's everything. Let's
See?
start with me. That's everything.
Okay. And when you look at how you will go about fixing that next year, because I think it was the third time over 300 yards this year allowed.
Yeah.
Where do you start?
It's obvious that Coach Prime says it starts with him. There's going to be a coaching change, and there may be some roster changes on this team. You know that there are going to be kids that are going to jump into the transfer portal and leave, as there are going to be young men that are going to come in from the transfer portal. They got to do a better job of evaluating the young men that they bring into this program from the transfer portal level, from the high school level, and then the coaching staff. Look, I'm at this point, I don't care if a person has NFL coaching experience. One of the things I believe that's missing from this team is that I believe they need to get some experienced coaches that have coached in college football. I would like to see them get someone who is an experienced college football defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator. Because I think the truth of the matter is, I don't think that Robert Livingston, who was never a defensive coordinator in the pros until he got to CU. Pat Shurmur had opportunities in the NFL, but never really it panned out. So I think that, this is just my opinion, one of their problems is that they don't have enough legitimate coaches in certain key positions who have college football experience and understand the pace of college football, you see.
The curiosity.
I can't really disclose that where you start, but the process has already started.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so if the process is already starting, you know what that means. Coach Prime is looking to make changes on this football team. He's looking at personnel changes. He's looking at what is the future of some of the young men on the team. I suspect things are going to change big time going into next year, and we'll be hearing about it. One thing we know that Juju said that he's sticking around. Let's get back to Juju right now and the things that he's saying.
Up for him.
Thanks, man.
I guess for you, Julian, you've been able to connect with Amari and Miller in 3 straight games now. Can you just describe why that connection has been successful and how you can continue to improve on it beyond just 3 completions for him?
In all honesty, I think he's not a guy you can guard man coverage, and I think he's shown that.
Cannot
tonight,
play
he
man
really
coverage
toughened those
against him.
zones, like I said, and kind of changed me and him things. So, like I said, next week just get back in the lab and just get ready for the next week.
Facts.
Reginald, you guys got 4 takeaways defensively, but it seemed like Arizona State kind of wore you guys down as the game went on. What were some of the things?
That's
you
my
guys
man,
were struggling
Reginald Huge.
against their offense tonight?
I'm not here to downplay any phase of our team, special teams, offense or defense. We just got to be better in situation.
Right. Reginald, huge. I like his attitude. He's not willing to sit up there and throw his teammates under the bus for the benefit of the media. But he says, we got to play better football. It's just that simple.
No matter if we getting on the field consecutively or we get turnovers and got to come right back, like we just got to be better and execute. It don't matter what the situation is.
Mm-hmm.
Also for Reggie, senior day for you, just what were the emotions like for you there?
Right. High. I mean, of course, we all know last home game and Folsom senior day, we wanted to come out of here with a win, but the outcome was unfortunate. Still got to keep the main thing. We got one more week to play.
I like this because you can tell that the players are they're not giving up. Even despite what we may say, I may say, despite what the critics in the media say, the haters, the trolls, despite what you say, the young men inside that locker room, the ones that are going to be sticking around, they believe in the process. They believe. They haven't given up. Even when things are going bad, you need to have young men like Reginald Hughes having this attitude that he has. You can't have someone with a negative attitude. It poisons the locker room.
Got to go win next week against Kansas State and just keep the main thing. My emotions isn't the importance of this situation right now.
Right.
We just got to be better, come back in, get back to the drawing board, get back on the grass and work.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth. Reggie, there was a play where you were kind of like trying to get somebody's attention maybe before a play, I think on the long touchdown pass to Arizona State.
Reggie had there was a moment in the game where Reggie was trying to get the attention of players because they had a lot of guys. I got to be honest. They had a lot of guys that are playing out of position, meaning they had to fill in the holes because there were guys that were out, hurt, injured. They're regular starters. So you had guys playing out of position that him being a lead linebacker, he had to try to signal to get them in position. And, of course, that was the play where there was the big run. So there's a lot of things going on when you have guys out hurt that will impact a football team.
Tonight, what was kind of happening? Were you trying to get a teammate's attention, or what was kind of going on with you before that play?
Just trying to get a teammate's attention for pre-snap alignment. We had some new things going on tonight due to unfortunate injuries.
Right.
So we had to move some guys around and knowing where who's supposed to be, just trying to get guys lined up. Yep.
Right.
Julian, is the Big 12 moving fast? You've had a couple games. What are you seeing out there? How comfortable are you?
Honestly, I mean, I feel good back there. Like I said, there was a couple plays I had to get the ball out faster. You know, took some unnecessary sacks, a lot of incompletions tonight. I mean, just some things that you can't do as the quarterback, and you know, just take all the blame on me.
Boom. So that's a leader. This young man is saying, put the blame on me. Some things that I can't do, I can't afford to do. I think the offensive line had some struggles without Jordan Seaton. I'm gonna stand on that 10 toes down. I think that was also a big, because when you're a quarterback, the most important position on that offensive line for the blind side of a quarterback is the left tackle. And he didn't have his top left tackle in Jordan Seaton in there. And Jordan Seaton, once again, as the many of injuries that they have, he's injured. So I just want to make sure, as much as we criticize, which we have a right to give constructive criticism, as much as I'm frustrated with the way the season's gone, the way they have played, and everything that's gone down, as much as I don't like it, I also recognize that they have a lot of guys out hurt. They have a lot of their playmakers, guys that are different makers, that are out. Let me play this last little piece of clip from Julian Lewis. This one should be good too. Let's check this out right here.
This team around you and just these young guys moving forward and keep them believing that you're building something here.
I think you can't judge the team based off the outcome of the season. So, I mean, that's kind of what I've been telling the guys. Like, you know, we just got to keep working. I mean, a lot of the freshman guys are getting their opportunities right now. Just telling them,
right,
just be prepared, be ready. I mean, you know, portals with the portal. I mean, guys are going to hit it, but
right,
I mean, you can't really control that. But, you know, I'm just trying to keep all the guys I can here for next year so we can.
You see what I'm
do what we
saying?
need to do.
See?
Hey, Julian, a couple questions for you. First off, I asked you after West Virginia if you had any thoughts of redshirting. You said no. Is that still your thought going into next week?
Honestly, I mean, I don't know. You know, it's a lot more into it than just me with the redshirting situation, but I don't really have any information.
I just wanted to play that because they've been pushing the whole thing about red shirt. I don't think the young man wants the red shirt. I think he just wants to get out there and play, show what he can do, show that he's meant to be here. And once again, to all the naysayers out there, the press, what I liked about what Julian Lewis did is that he made it clear that he's getting ready for next year. He's sticking around. He lives out there. He's made Boulder his home. He's got some of his family or friends or homeboys out there with him, right? He's here. He's got to have to continue working during the offseason and continue the chemistry that he has with Amarion Miller, because I think if you have this kind of chemistry, it can be dangerous for next season. I think he'll be a complete different player next season because he'll get all the reps. He'll be in a mindset of studying that playbook that much more intently because he knows he's the starter. The buck will fall with him. I think that he's already all in because he's just said, hey, I'm living there. I'm not planning to leave. I'm not going. He even admitted that he knows that there's some guys that will jump in the transfer portal, but he wants the guys that are going to stay. So, like I say, this is great for the future. Julian Lewis is the future. Next year is a new year. They can learn from this year. They can clean the slate. They can turn this around. They've had some bad games over the last few weeks. It's been hard to digest, but damn it, I'm not going to sit up here and act like they can't rectify this going into next year. They can change this football team around. I think it has to start at the top. They got to change the coaching. They got to change some of this coaching personnel. Coach Prime is going to do what he feels he has to do best. But if I had my 2 cents in this, I personally think that he needs to bring in an offensive coordinator who has college football experience, that understands the pacing of the college game. Defensive coordinator, okay, Robert Livingston is not playing with all of his healthy players. He might get a pass there. But I even think that Coach Prime needs to bringing guys in from the NFL. I think he should have NFL guys as position coaches, right? So you've got guys like Marshall Falk, who is the running back coach. That's a good one. But I think he should bring in one guy has college football experience as the coordinator at defense, bring in a guy who has college football experience as a defensive coordinator, and then all the other position coaches, you can make those professional coaches. But when it comes to the coordinating position, I think they lack guys who have experience at this level. Once again, Robert Livingston does not have defensive coordinator experience because he was a position coach with the Cincinnati Bengals. Coming to CU was an upgrade in his resume, but I have questioned some of his defensive play calling. Mind you, he has lost a lot of good players that have been lost to injuries this season. Anytime you've got Preston Hodge, who had to step in, and this is unfortunate, and play some safety. They need to continue working on getting the ball down. I think in this game against Kansas State, I want to see them get the ball down the field, because that's where Amarion Miller is very effective. That's where Sincere Brown is very effective. So we'll have to see what happens, everybody. I appreciate you all being here today. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, like, subscribe, share this video on all your social media, tell people about the channel, and we'll be back with some more presentation. Be on the lookout. I'm going to be doing a video about Shedeur Sanders and the whole situation in the NFL. He played a damn good game yesterday against the Raiders, but then you had the coach of the Cleveland Browns who in the locker room where they try to, where they give praise to the players, I think he downplayed what Shedeur had done. Shedeur had did something that no rookie quarterback has done in the history and God knows how long with Cleveland and the way they won that game and went about their business. So be on the lookout. That'll be a pre-produced video that I will upload for you. I'm going in on that one. And if you look at the previous videos on this channel, I have talked about, and I'm one of the first people on these YouTube streets, amongst other people, to jump out the window and say, he needs out of Cleveland. The coach of Cleveland ain't for Shedeur. The owner, they're not for Shedeur. Shedeur showed you that when he gets an opportunity and has time, he can do some things. I just don't think that Cleveland is where this man is going to make his long-term career home. At least that's what I'm hoping, that they get him out of Cleveland. Cleveland is a horrible football organization. I'll be back with another video about that very soon. Y'all take care, everybody. Take care and peace. Peace, everybody. I appreciate your support.
Prime Sports Media, baby. Thank you. Enjoy your holidays. Like, share the video.